Come in, share an invite with your friends and family. This one wasn't planned time, but I wanted to get it in and I wanted you guys to be a part of it. So when you come in, let me know you're here. Say hello. Let me know where you're chiming in from. And we're going to get into this in just a second. I want to make sure that everything is going where it's supposed to go. And then we're going to get started. So give me about maybe, let's say, maybe 15 seconds. And we're going to get right into it. So stay tuned.
This one for the streets that taught me lessons. They taught me about the grief and people out here stressing. They taught me how the evils wanna keep you from progressing. It's people in your circle wanna keep you from your blessings. No talking to them people when them people come with questions. This mama say no ratting. For them, death is destined. Be careful of the people you invest in.
All right, we are back. Hi, Shar from Houston. Welcome. And I am going to put up the banner for the podcast that is going to be recorded today, just so you guys will know where it's from, and then I'll do it again at the end, where you can listen to it. So here it is. Relationship Gumbo Podcast is literally everywhere that you can get a podcast. The only thing that's not up there right now is SoundCloud, so it's also on SoundCloud. So wherever you can get your podcast, it is there. And today we have a topic that a lot of people are aware of, but very seldom talk about it, and it's situationships. And the title of this one is a situationship better than nothing at all? So we're going to get into it. I'm not going to waste your time. So what normally happens on the live podcast recording is I will pause for a few seconds. I'll start the podcast and then I'll pause at the end. And then after that, I'll address all the comments and the questions at the end, and then we're done. So here goes. So give me like 3 seconds and then we're going to get started. And welcome to another edition of the Relationship Gumbo Podcast. I am your host, Derek Jones. I'm a life coach and engineer strategist and a mental health advocate. And today we have a special topic, and that topic is a situationship better than nothing at all? We're going to talk about that a little bit today, just a little something. You know, I like to give you some things I always tell you that can hit you in the chest so you can kind of think about it and look at it from a different perspective. And so what we're going to do first of all, I appreciate you guys for tuning in one more time. And hopefully you'll be back at all the rest of them because we got a lot more to go. We're not going to stop. So first we got to define what this is, right? We have to define what the situationship is, because it can take on many forms. And normally it's a relationship that doesn't have a definition. So you're doing a lot of relationship type of things, right? Could be sex, could be time, could be, going on what we would call dates, and just doing kind of relationship stuff, but not really giving it a title. And we'll talk about the why of that later. So I don't want to get too deep just yet. We're gonna slow walk into it a little bit. So when you're dealing with a relationship, or even in some cases, I would think like some people would call friends with benefits, a situationship where you have conditions by which you will deal with each other, and you can't cross this line, and you can't do this, and you can't do that. It's a lot of confusion sometimes, right? So now I'm going to preface this with, there are some people who have those conditions, and there are some people that are in situationships and they've been in them for years and it works. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about the people that's in them, but you really don't feel comfortable after a time, right? So we're going to get into like 3 different categories I'm going to talk about today, just to get you guys a little familiar with how this works. Some of you may be in them. Some of you may have done them before. Maybe you're jumping from situationship to situationship to feed a need, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is emotions, right? We get into these things with people that we're really attracted to and we really like them. And it's hard to turn them off. And so the question for number 1 is, are you really about that emotionally detached life, right? Are you really about being with someone, but not really making a full commitment to them, but being with them for long periods of time, being with them for even short periods of time. But normally what happens, we had a show, if you go back in the podcast, we had a show about, dopamine and how you kind of need to refresh that just like a drug. So like you'll get into a situationship, something happens, and then you got to keep jumping in order for you to feed and have that fulfillment of having somebody there, right? And a lot of us can handle that by not having anyone literally ever commit to being with just you, right? And there's a lot of us who say we are, but we're not really about living that detached life for real. Like at some point you can say in the beginning, it's not going to be, a relationship. I'm not going to catch feelings. We just going to hang out and that's all it's going to be. And then there comes a point as a human that you start building attachments. And the other party has to be, whether willingly or whether they know or they don't know, that one of you may be catching feelings and the other one is still riding with the same original plan. Now, once again, and I'm going to say this because I know you guys and I don't want you guys to come for me later and say, no, that's not true. I'm not talking about the people who are relaxed and chilling and been in a situationship for 35 years and it works for you and you don't care to have a title and you don't care about the commitment. You just do you. I am not talking about you. I'm talking about the people who are torn and they feel like this is all they have left because the dating pool is so shallow and they can't find anyone and all of that. We're going to get into all of that in a minute. Okay. I said that twice for a reason because I guarantee you, as sure as my skin is brown, somebody's going to say, you're wrong. Some people like it. I know I'm not talking about you. So a lot of us are not really prepared emotionally to live a life as a pseudo boyfriend or girlfriend with no emotion. We're human beings. We like to be attached, right? Some of us stay, detached, period. Like we're alone and we choose to be single and we choose to not even pursue or even want to be touched because we don't want to be hurt again, right? And I get that. And then there's a space where you say, you know what? I'm by myself, but I just really want to be in somebody's face. So you go out there and you achieve just that. And sometimes when both parties are just as attracted and you really enjoy the time, and then you fall into this space where you know that it feels right, but you're not ready to go all in, right? Because it's a little bit of fear there. So you just ride it. You ride and you just go along with the flow and we just gonna chill and we just gonna be happy. And it's been, 4 or 5 months and we just chilling. And the what are we question never comes up because you just want to keep feeling the euphoria of, just being around that person. And what a lot of us don't realize is that if there ever came to a point where the what are we question came up and the other person's like, we just chilling, it might hurt a little bit. It might hurt a little bit, right? Because you're already emotionally invested. And so my question to you, and the question that you need to ask yourself if you find yourself continually in these situationships is, are you really emotionally built to practice this behavior? Because if you really enjoy being around someone, you're going to have to keep doing it over and over and over again, knowing that you'll never really have a commitment. You'll never really, necessarily say, and I preface this with this because, I'm not an absolute, because I'm not one of these guys out here saying this is the only way. There's probably some people that have committed to each other, but they don't have like the titles or they don't ever get married or blah, blah, blah. All of that. I get it. But there's a lot, by and large, there's a lot of people who are not built to behave with a detached kind of center like that. And those are the people I'm talking about. You riding the line. You want to be with somebody, but you don't want to commit because you don't want to be hurt, right? And so that's one of our other topics. Number 2, that's a good segue. The situationships normally it's better than and it's worth not having the drama or the pain that comes along with relationships, right? A lot of us have been in I won't say situations. We've been in relationships. We've been a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and we've experienced pain and trauma and deceit and lies and all of that. And then it happens again, and it happens again, and it happens again. And then there's a part of you that says, you know what? Screw this. I'm not even about that anymore. I'm just going to chill. And what happens with that is that once you get to a point where you're just tired of being tired, and then you make a decision. You make a decision to chill and to kind of be at peace with yourself and be alone for a while. And maybe you may pursue something one day or maybe not, right? There are those that are choosing to say never, ever again. And there are those that will sit at home and say, I want it one day, but I don't necessarily know if I want to give that much of myself again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compartmentalize my relationships. So I'm going to go ahead and do X, Y, and Z with this one person, and I'm going to detach it so I don't give them everything. And that's going to be our situation. We just only going to go meet for drinks every other Friday. And that's going to be the commitment that I make to this person, but they're not going to get all of me. You may commit to somebody in a sense or have a situation with somebody that it's a friends with benefit. We cool and we sleep together, but he not coming to the house. He not going to meet my kids ever. You know, he's not going to meet my parents. We just chilling. And the question that I'm asking the particular audience that I'm talking about, how long are you willing to live your life that way, knowing somewhere deep down inside that that's not enough, right? Because you're afraid of the pain that might happen if you go all the way in. Because now here's the caveat. Are you with someone in a situationship that you really, 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 really like? Like this could be bad if you wasn't so hurt, right? But you don't want to go all the way in because what if of the hurt? What if you get hurt? So I'm not going to give my all. We just going to be buddies in situation and we going to pretend we're going to do boyfriend and girlfriend things. But we're not going to ever say that it's exclusive or any of that kind of stuff because that's where the terror is, right? And I say to you again, most of us are not built that way to just shut it off. Because you can pretend, right? We always talk about masks on this show. You can pretend, and I know a lot of people that I've run into a lot in my lifetime. They pretend that a lot of times, and I'll just pick on women for a minute. There's a lot of women out there that'll say, I'm built like a dude, like I can behave like a dude. I don't give a damn. I can just move out here in these streets and not care about nothing, and I don't have no emotions because I'm just like a guy. Sometimes that's a mask, right? And there are people that have been so hurt that they literally have shut their emotions off. And you have to live your life that way. Hard. I'm not going to ever feel again. Are you really built for that? Is that where you want to be for the rest of your life, in that place where you will never feel again? Because you got to think. If someone crosses your path that might fit what you want, but you hard, and I just want a situation I don't necessarily want to be, I don't need all that because I don't know who you are. If you never give up, ever, ever, ever give up the part of yourself that's willing to love ever again, is that fair to the you that's on the inside that's screaming for it? Are you lying to yourself? Think about it, right? Because there's a lot of us that lie to ourselves. We move out here in these streets and we're like, I'm good. I don't need nothing. I'm straight. That person that does that and you go home and you thinking about, dang, I'm really not straight. You're lying to yourself. And then you meet someone. This is how a lot of situations, they be like this. I really like you. I want to spend some time, but I'm not really ready for nothing major. So let's just hang out and chill and see what happens, right? And then you hanging out and you chilling for like 3-4 months, and you seeing this person like every week, right? But you can't fall for them because you're scared. So I'm going to tell this person I'm cool with this. But you're lying, right? I'm cool. Let's just keep hanging out. And I want to also say that, and this will be number 3, right? The peace, someone told me, several women have told me a long time ago that a piece of a good thing is better than not having any at all. Like, I'd rather have a piece of someone's time than to commit to being in a relationship with them. So I'll just, and this is, there's a lot of people that are taking a piece of people that are already taken, right? And that piece of something is good enough so that I know that I'm not by myself all the time, right? And when I speak like this, I am not saying that you don't take your time to evaluate someone before you commit to being in a relationship with them. I am simply saying, at some point, if you are growing a relationship, at some point you will say, you know what? I don't want to be with anybody else but you. At some point, if you are trying to grow something, you will say, I don't want nobody else to have this but me. What are we doing? Are we still chilling? And it's 2 years later, are we chilling still? Or, once again, there are some people that are cool with having a 2-year chill buddy because they trying to figure out what they really want. I'm just saying, I am not a judge. That might be you. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying that's a lot of time and emotion. And I'm sure unless this person is just totally repulsive to you, if you're attracted to them, at some point you're going to be like, dang, this feels good. Now, once again, if you're an emotionally detached person, y'all can play Scrabble every Friday and it's cool. Right? The people that will listen to this podcast and will say, well, what if I don't want to attach to them because, I'm just, once again, I'm going to repeat, I'm just spending time with this person, and why would I give a title, or why would I ever commit if I'm not sure if it's the one? If you're not sure it's the one and it's 2 years later, maybe you're 12. I don't know. So then I would say, spend some time getting to know you so that you do know what you want, so that the things and the characteristics that you would like for that person to have, you can be like, that's it. That's not it. And then at some point you would say, we both want to try to pursue something together. If you're not about that life, like I said, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people who want something more, but are living a life like they don't. Catch that. You know you want something more. You don't want a situationship, but you're settling for one because you just don't want to chill and be by yourself and get to know you all over again, post-trauma, post-pain. That's who I'm talking to. Stop pretending that you're cool with not showing emotion. So I'm going to leave you kind of sort of with that. We may do a little bit of, a lot of my shows kind of meld into each other. And you guys know that I'll be back again this week because I promised you 2 a week. And we're going to have another good topic. I just got to make sure that it's one of those gut-punching ones. So I'm going to figure that out today. So on that note, I'm going to say this in closing. Again, if you know you're not about the emotionally detached situation, ships, then stop lying to yourself. If you want something more, then your behavior has to track to that in order for you to achieve your goal. And sometimes you may not achieve the goal, right? But if you don't put forth the effort, then you'll never know. So I'm going to see you guys, talk to you guys on the next show. Y'all going to get another one. this week, and I appreciate you for coming. And I will be on twice a week, like I said, and I will talk to you later. Have a great day. All right, we're finished, guys. Now I can look at the comments. Sorry about that. So I wanted to comment on Shar from Periscope. She said, "You make it sound like people can say I want to get married and the marriage is going to fall out of the sky, though." And so let me address that. I would never say a marriage will fall out of the sky, but what I'm saying is people who get married at some point, and this is maybe I'm old school and maybe I'm a unicorn. At some point along the track before you get married, you say I only want to see you. Now there's some people out here that live that frivolous life, and then they're with all these different people and doing all this stuff, and then they get engaged. That's to me seems a little weird. But there's people out here that do that. So once again, I don't judge you. I'm just saying, by and large, most people that are on the track to grow something, to get married, there's a point where you say, you know what? This chilling thing is just not enough for me. I want more. And once again, I say, if you're not that person, I'm not talking about you. There's a lot of people out here that are dating with a purpose. And there's a lot of people out here that are dating just because they want somebody there. The people who are dating just because they want somebody there, if that's what you do, I'm no judge. But if you're doing it to fill in the space and you know you want more, but you're just playing around, that's who I'm talking about. It doesn't serve your purpose. Hey, Curtis, thanks for joining. I see Larnice. I see Latasha Carpenter saying she's going to do a watch party. Rob is saying, is there a relationship questionnaire you prefer? So I'm going to answer that question, Rob. The relationship questionnaire is going to be based on what you need, right? So I can't make up one for you. I can tell you some general things that I think everybody should ask, especially when and I always say do it early, right? And if whatever your questionnaire scares someone away, Rob says, if you know a dame looking for a great guy, dial me in with her on your scope. I got you covered if that ever happens. But the questionnaire can't be like stupid, like this insane, like stuff that it doesn't even make sense. What I'm saying is, once you know the things that are like deal breakers for you and different things that you need to kind of have and know about a person, it's no shame in asking those questions. And if the person that you're dating is afraid to answer them, then that's the answer, right? If you ask somebody, what are you looking for? You know, we're dating, but what are you looking for in life? Like, as far as like this whole dating thing, are you looking for something long-term? Are you just looking for a situationship? And they're like, I don't know. And if you know that you're looking for a relationship, then they're not looking for the same thing, right? But because a lot of times when we are so emotionally, we would just want somebody to be there, we'll ignore the fact that they answered it that way, and we'll give them what they're looking for. So if that person's like, no, I'm just looking to chill, and you'd be like, okay, yeah, me too. I want to chill too. You're lying. You just want somebody to be, you already know you're not looking to do that. But you don't want that person to leave, so you got to conform to what they say they're looking for. You're not sticking with your list. That doesn't mean you're going to get married tomorrow, but you need to know where their mind is to know if it's even worth your time. Rob says, I think I'm single because no gal wants to answer my questions honestly. I'll say this. I'm sure that there probably is someone out there that will answer them. Unfortunately, you're running into ones that don't. But I would say stick to what you know. Like I said before, there can't be anything just like outlandish and crazy that somebody would never want to answer. But it's realistic stuff, things you care about. And if someone just never wants to answer them, then that says more about them. That is what you call a red flag. Right, Rob. I used to do that too. I used to pretend to be something else just to have somebody in my face. And it doesn't, like I say on most of my shows, how many years are you willing to live wearing a mask? It gets old after a while. The real you is begging to come out and it can't because you're blocking it. And would you want someone to fall in love with the masked version of you? So you got to stick to your guns, even if that means being alone for a while. Yeah, Rob, just real deal questions. That's all anybody can ask for. And like I always tell people, once you get to a certain age in life, if somebody's afraid to answer like relationship type questions, then they're not ready. Like some people be like, why are you asking me these questions so early? Because I need to know. Time matters now. Like, I got stuff to lose. Let's go. And if that person is like, nah, let's wait until we on date number 30 and then, no. You're not wasting 30 dates worth of my time, and I can answer these questions right now. Yeah, Rob, living that life with the mask on is horrible. It's horrible. And what people don't realize, and I kind of touched on this before, when you suppress who you really are just to be with someone, there's a part of you that's going to seek that peace of mind somewhere else. Because you need the inner you to feel something too. And that's the danger zone. Because that inside you is going to fight to get out. And sometimes you already in something with somebody and you like, how does the inner me get appeased and still stay in this? It's a struggle. Curtis says, I got rid of my mask more than 20 years ago and never looked back. Exactly. Once you realize, this is the thing, and I'm going to get off of here in a minute. When you realize, first of all, that you're consistently creating masks to appease other people, once you're able to take it off, once you're comfortable with who you are and you can be by yourself for a while or you can move however you want to, it's like a big weight is lifted off your shoulders. Because now anybody that comes in contact with you that actually wants to spend time with you is spending time with the real person. That means they are falling in love with the real you. And sometimes it doesn't happen quick. Sometimes you may have to go through 100 different people, phone calls, dates, or whatever, to even get to somebody that even is appreciative of that. But that's just the game we're in. So what I always preach is, if you know you may have to go through 50 or however many, then you got to be prepared to be able to discard them really fast. And the only way to do that is to ask the pertinent questions up front and then map their answers to their behavior. And when it doesn't match up, it's time to go. You got to love you more, right? Remember that. Because like I always say, there's people out here that lie for a living. But your behavior has to match up to the lie. It's all got to match. And if I care about myself, I'm not going to be like a detective, but I'm going to remember those answers. I'm not going to wait to ask you those questions 3, 4, 5 months down the line. Basic questions, you might get that on the first phone call or the first date. And I'm going to watch and see if you're even willing to indulge that. Are you ready for the same things I'm ready for? What's your intentions? Things like that. Like, these are wide range questions, but you're going to see what the response is. That's the key, is the response, how they respond. If somebody says, what are you looking for? And they're like, and they 45 and they're like, so you 45, but you don't know yet. Okay, cool. Rob says, yes, when their words don't match, that's a recipe for disaster for me if I stay in it. Exactly. And Yeah, Curtis, it also helps if the other person has to get rid of their mask. And that's the game we play. We don't know who's who. But I can control what I deal with, though. When your emotions get in the way and they're up front, you put yourself in a lot of situations that you know that the logical side of you would have said no to on day one. But you're like, but I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to watch Netflix alone. Damn, I might as well go ahead and just see what happens. So like, and this is stuff that I've learned over time, right? And I'll tell you guys the long version of my story and how I even got here one of these days. But I've seen a lot. I always say my life experience age is about 97, right? And what I've learned over time is when people ask you direct questions and you get choked up, and like I said, there's some people out here that's ready for the questions, cool. But when you tell me that answer and it's a lie, now I have a baseline of things to match up to, right? So like if you say, yeah, I'm ready to be with somebody and I want to have a long-term relationship and I want to woo, woo, woo. And then the woman is like, cool, let's do that. I'm ready for the same thing. And then the woman is like, but why I can only talk to you after midnight? Why we only go out to dates that are like outside the state? Well, baby, I work a lot, and no, you just said you was ready for something that we can grow with, and why is this all these stipulations on when I can see you and all that? And we 2-3 months in, it doesn't match what you said you was looking for. I love me more than the BS you feed me right now, and you cool and you cute and all that, but gotta go, right? And y'all know that happens every day, right? I was guilty of it at one point, and it ain't cool because at the end, that game you play, it always ends in disaster, right? Now you done hurt somebody, now you got to go do it to somebody else, and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, and guess who doesn't get happy in the end? You, because it's a game. It's all a big game. And like I said in what I listen to all the podcasts, guys. Like I said in one of my other podcasts, it's like a serial killer. Like, yeah, you're hurting people, but you get off on it. So you won't hurt somebody again, and you're just going to keep destroying emotions and hearts along the way, and you just don't give a damn. At what point do you say, you know what, there's a lot of bodies in the way. What the hell am I getting out of this? So I'm going to leave you with that. Hopefully that whole, I wanted Shar to come back because I really wanted to engage her on her question about me, the assumption that you would have to do a situationship to get to know someone. No, you don't. You can actually date someone and realize that this may be someone you want to pursue, especially for men. This is how we operate normally, right? There's a lot of us out here that are really frivolous, but most of the time we territorial. After a certain point in time, we're going to say, look, I really don't want nobody else to be here. I like you that much that I want you and me, and that's it. I know you're probably talking to some other folks, but it's my job to make sure that they want to be me because I'm number one, right? That's what we do. So when you don't do that and you just like, oh, it's 7 months later and I don't really give a damn, go do you. You spent a lot of time with somebody you really don't give a damn about. Catch that. I mean, why? Talking about we friends. Stop it. Stop. So I'm going to leave y'all with that. And I will see you guys on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm going to figure out a great topic sometime today. And y'all will see the flyer come out and all that. So I appreciate you and I thank you for being here. And I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great rest of your day.
This one for the streets that taught me lessons. They taught me about the grief and people out here stressing. They taught me how the evils wanna keep you from progressing. It's people in your circle wanna keep you from your blessings. No talking to them people when them people come with questions. Cause mama say no ratting. For them, death is destined. Be careful of the people you invest in.